What's really wrong with having body image struggles? The world tells us it's because we don't love ourselves enough. But is that really true? Is that the problem, or is it something else? Will loving ourselves more make us more secure in our looks and make us more beautiful to God? Well, you have to stay tuned to find out. Hey everyone, it's Elisa
and Jen,
and we're back with another episode on True Beauty. And today we have such a good topic to talk about because it's so relatable. It's something that so many women struggle with.
Yes, with ever-growing access to images of women that meet a certain standard of beauty, it's so easy to look at others and then get consumed in ourselves, feeling as though there's something wrong with us and the way we look, and then leading to body image issues.
Yes, that's so true. I mean, even I struggle with body image issues in the past myself. When I was younger, I was pretty self-conscious about how skinny I was and how I looked. That I was too bony, my shoulders protruded, that I didn't have curves, and even sometimes in PE or band at high school, girls would comment on, wow, oh my gosh, you look so skinny. And I would take it as a criticism, even though they meant really well. But after college, I realized it didn't really bother me anymore because I remembered that the Lord had fearfully and wonderfully made me. And it was after years of reminding myself of that truth until I fully believed it to be true.
Thanks for sharing that, Elisa. Actually, I had a similar struggle when I was younger. I struggled a lot with being flat-chested, so much that I would cry about it. I told my mom I was ugly, that I had fat in all the wrong places. One time at school, someone sarcastically said to me, "Nice calves," and I just was mortified. I was so self-conscious about my legs for years. And it wasn't until later that I realized that God made everyone differently, and I could be thankful because God made me fearfully and wonderfully, as Elisa said. I could be thankful for that. And not only that, but external beauty by the world's standards was definitely not the most important thing in my life and definitely not something I should be discontent about. But I should have been desiring the right kind of beauty, true beauty.
For body image issues like ours, the world gives us these solutions that we just need to love our bodies more, that you need to try the next diet, that you need to try the next workout program, or even to get plastic surgery. But are these solutions really going to help us be more beautiful?
No, because ultimately none of the world's solutions acknowledge and worship God for his fearful and wonderful design of the outward appearance. Psalm 139, 13 to 15. For you formed my inward parts. You wove me in my mother's womb. I will give thanks to you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret, and skillfully wrought in the depths of the earth. God has created each of us beautifully and perfectly in his own image.
That's so comforting to think about, that God has fearfully and wonderfully made me, made Jen, made you, and more importantly, the world's so-called solutions completely miss the mark for what constitutes true beauty of the inner heart. As we've been talking about on this series on true beauty is to imitate the likeness of Christ in your character. 1 Samuel 16:7 says, "For God sees not as man sees. For man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." A beautiful woman is transformed in how she loves and lives like Christ.
Definitely. And to God, a beautiful woman isn't one who just measures up to society's beauty standards on the outside, but has a sinful heart on the inside. Instead, a truly beautiful woman is a woman who fears God, who lives for Christ and looks like Christ, like it says in Galatians 2:20. I have been crucified with Christ, and it is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me.
And now that we know that God has fearfully and wonderfully made us, and that true beauty comes from imitating the likeness of Christ in our character, what really is the problem when we have body image issues?
It's not that we don't love ourselves enough or that we haven't done the right diet. The real problem with body image problems is not loving God enough, rather than desiring his will and his purposes to be accomplished in every way, including how we look. We desire that our own purposes be accomplished in the way we look. So you want to look the way that will help you feel good about yourself, or that will make other people think that you're pretty, or so that you can be just as pretty as that girl over there, or pretty enough so that guys will notice you more.
You're right. When we don't desire God's will and purposes for our lives, including our bodies, we're not living God. But you see, God has fearfully and wonderfully made you for His purpose. God has given you a body, not for you to delight in it, but Him to delight in it. And what do I mean by that? Romans 12:1 says, "Therefore I urge you, brethren, by the mercies of God, present your bodies a living and holy sacrifice, acceptable to God, which is your spiritual service of worship." When we love God, we will present our bodies as a living and holy sacrifice to God. And as Christians, our bodies aren't our own. We have been bought with a precious price, Christ's blood. Body and soul, we are instruments for God to use. And Romans 12:1 tells us what God's will is for our bodies. His will is for our bodies to be designed for His purposes, to be presented for Him, and to be used for His will.
So rather than being so concerned about how you look, love God by being concerned about His purposes. Be concerned about His will for your body and your life, and His purposes for the people around you, as Jesus taught in Matthew 6:33, to seek first His kingdom and His righteousness. That was how Jesus lived. He didn't live with self-centered concern just to look good in the eyes of man, but He lived to obey and please God in every way. So let's love God more and imitate Christ in putting God's purposes and will first in every aspect of our lives, including how we look, to be truly beautiful. And remember, it's not our outward appearance and looks that will make us beautiful to God, but our inward character.
Right. That's really encouraging to think about. We can be truly beautiful by loving God and understanding His purposes for our bodies and lives. So now we know what's truly wrong when we have body image issues. But how do we deal with other things when we're feeling self-conscious? Not just in how we look, but about how we feel incompetent, or when we can't stop thinking about what other people think about us. Well, you gotta stay tuned for upcoming videos by clicking our subscribe button. And if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up.
Thanks so much for joining us. That's all we have for now, but until next time,
Stay captivated.